In the health and fitness world, three labels have shaped how people think about their bodies for decades: ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph. They're simple, memorable, and easy to recognize in yourself. These labels were some of the first attempts to explain why bodies look and respond differently. They gave language to genetic differences long before genetics was part of mainstream conversation, but they were created in the 1940s, long before scientists understood DNA, hormones, or metabolism. Today, we know the human body isn't divided into three fixed blueprints. It's a dynamic system shaped by environment, stress, diet, sleep, and movement. So instead of seeing ectomorph, mesomorph, and endomorph as wrong, think of them as early maps, useful but incomplete. Modern science has drawn a much more detailed map, and that map begins with how and where your body stores fat. Apple body type, Android distribution, the protector. Some bodies carry their energy in the center. The torso becomes the anchor point. Strength radiates outward from the core. This is the Apple, or Android, fat distribution pattern. Fat accumulates around the abdomen, chest, and internal organs. Visceral fat sits deep inside the body, wrapping around the liver, pancreas, and intestines like a protective barrier. In modern culture, this pattern is often criticized. But evolution didn't design bodies for beauty standards. It designed bodies for survival. Central fat storage was a survival advantage in unpredictable environments. The torso houses vital organs. Protecting them meant survival through injury, cold, famine, and physical trauma. In ancestral times, having stored energy close to the organs could mean the difference between living and dying during long winters or food scarcity. These bodies were often the builders, carriers, and defenders. Strong upper bodies, powerful cores, and thick torsos translated into the ability to lift, throw, fight, climb, and carry resources long distances. They were designed for force and stability. Biologically, this pattern is closely linked to cortisol and insulin. When the body senses danger or stress, it prioritizes storing energy centrally. The body prepares for action, fight, flight, or survival. In the modern world, psychological stress, sleep deprivation, artificial light, and ultra-processed food keep this system permanently activated. The same mechanism that once protected survival now becomes chronic and can increase metabolic disease risk, but the hidden advantage remains. Central fat is often the most responsive to targeted lifestyle changes. Improving sleep, aligning circadian rhythm, resistance training, fasting protocols, and lowering refined carbohydrates can rapidly reduce visceral fat. Apple-type bodies often respond exceptionally well to strength training and metabolic conditioning, building dense muscle and improving insulin sensitivity quickly. When stress is controlled and muscle mass increases, this pattern can shift dramatically. These bodies thrive when stress is managed and movement is structured. Cold exposure, sunlight, walking after meals, and lifting heavy weights signal safety and energy usage, pushing fat away from the organs and into safer storage or oxidation. The Apple body type is not broken. It is a fortress design that needs modern stress regulation to function optimally. Pear body type, Gynoid distribution, the steward. Some bodies store their energy lower. Hips, thighs, and glutes become the foundation. The lower body carries the reserves. This is the pear, or gynoid, fat distribution pattern. Fat accumulates around the hips, thighs, and buttocks, forming curves that have been admired across civilizations, from ancient fertility statues to modern fashion. But these curves are not cosmetic accidents. They are biological signals written into DNA. Lower body fat is strongly linked to estrogen and reproductive health. It functions as a long-term energy reserve that protects fertility, pregnancy, and hormonal stability. In ancestral environments, pregnancy required energy security, and lower body fat acted as insurance. In evolutionary terms, this body type was the steward of the tribe's continuity. These bodies were optimized for endurance, gathering, long-distance travel, and childbearing. Strong hips and glutes allowed for efficient walking, climbing, and carrying children and resources over long distances. Biomechanically, strong glutes and thighs are among the most powerful muscles in the human body. They stabilize the pelvis, protect the spine, and drive locomotion. These bodies were designed to move steadily for hours, not explosively for seconds. That's why modern pear-shaped bodies often excel in cycling, hiking, long-distance walking, dancing, and any activity requiring balance and sustained effort. They are built for rhythm, coordination, and stability. The trade-off is fat loss resistance in the lower body. Estrogen encourages fat storage in the hips and thighs, especially during reproductive years. Evolution prioritized reproductive success and long-term survival over rapid fat loss. But this pattern also carries metabolic advantages. Lower body fat is associated with lower cardiovascular risk compared to abdominal fat. It acts as a metabolic sink, safely storing excess energy away from vital organs. In many studies, thigh and hip fat correlate with improved insulin sensitivity and reduced metabolic disease risk. The pear body type stores energy in a way that protects internal organs. However, modern lifestyle changes can push this system toward imbalance. Chronic estrogen dominance, poor gut health, and low muscle mass can make lower body fat extremely stubborn. Resistance training, progesterone-supportive sleep, protein intake, and walking are powerful levers to shift this pattern. The pear body type is a fertility-focused endurance system that responds best to muscle building and hormonal balance. Hourglass body type. Balanced distribution. The harmonizer. Some bodies distribute fat evenly. No single region dominates. The body maintains symmetry and proportion. This is the hourglass or balanced fat distribution pattern. Fat is spread across the hips, waist, chest, arms, and legs in relatively equal amounts. This pattern often reflects a synchronized hormonal environment where insulin, estrogen, and thyroid hormones are in relative balance. In evolutionary terms, this body type represented the adaptable generalist. Not specialized for one extreme environment, but capable across many conditions. These bodies could hunt, gather, travel, reproduce, and adapt to changing climates with minimal disadvantage. Balanced fat distribution suggests that no single hormonal pathway is dominating. Cortisol is not excessively high. Estrogen is not excessively biased toward one region. Insulin sensitivity is often moderate to good. In modern life, these bodies often respond predictably to diet and training. They gain muscle when they train, lose fat when they diet, and maintain stability in between. They are often seen as naturally balanced, but that balance is the result of complex biological feedback loops. However, balanced distribution does not equal perfect health. A person can have an hourglass shape and still have high body fat, low muscle mass, chronic inflammation, or insulin resistance. Distribution describes where fat is stored, not how much or how healthy it is. In many ancestral populations, generalist bodies were the ones who survived across shifting conditions. When food changed, climate shifted, or migration occurred, versatility was survival. These bodies often adapt quickly to new training styles, diets, and routines. They are metabolic generalists, not specialists. The key risk for this body type is complacency. Because they look balanced, issues like insulin resistance, thyroid dysfunction, or muscle loss can go unnoticed. Strength training, protein intake, and metabolic testing are crucial to prevent silent dysfunction. The hourglass pattern is not superiority. It is biological versatility that still requires conscious optimization. Skinny, fat body type. The modern phantom. Some bodies look lean on the surface. Clothes fit well. The scale shows a normal number. But beneath the surface, muscle is low, fat is high, and metabolic health is fragile. This is the skinny fat body type. This pattern is uniquely modern. In ancestral environments, daily survival required walking, lifting, climbing, hunting, and gathering. Muscle was constantly stimulated, and body fat distribution reflected function. Today, long hours of sitting, screen exposure, and minimal resistance training create bodies that are light but metabolically weak. Muscle mass declines. Fat infiltrates organs. Mitochondrial function decreases. Skinny fat individuals often have low metabolic rates, insulin resistance, poor glucose tolerance, fatigue, and hormonal dysregulation, despite appearing thin. They may store visceral fat internally while looking lean externally. In evolutionary terms, this body type represents a mismatch between biology and environment. The human body evolved for movement, but modern environments removed movement while maintaining constant calorie availability. This creates a body that looks light but functions inefficiently. Energy systems downregulate because the body perceives inactivity as low demand. The hidden advantage is that skinny fat bodies are extremely responsive to resistance training and protein intake. Adding muscle dramatically improves insulin sensitivity, mitochondrial function, hormone levels, mood, and cognitive performance. Within months of consistent strength training, skinny fat bodies can transform faster than any other pattern. They have untapped potential waiting to be activated. But staying skinny fat long-term has modern disadvantages. Low muscle mass accelerates aging, reduces insulin sensitivity, increases injury risk, and lowers basal metabolic rate. This pattern requires deliberate intervention, lifting weights, eating protein, and reducing sedentary time to avoid long-term metabolic decline. In ancestral terms, this body type did not exist because inactivity was not an option. In modern terms, it is a dormant system that must be consciously reactivated. If you learned something new today, make sure to subscribe for more videos that explain fascinating ideas clearly and simply. I create content designed to expand your understanding and spark your curiosity. Tap the bell icon so you don't miss what's coming next.